Book 2, Chapter 1, Reaping, of Hard Times is called Effects in the Bank. Coketown lies shrouded in a haze of its own. The pollution from factory smokestacks has created a murk of smog around the city. The air is pungent with the smell of oil. Past threats to Coketown's way of life include requirements to send working children to school and to submit to factory inspections. The owners resist any overtures toward even the slightest changes in conditions. For example, they object when such inspectors considered it doubtful whether they were quite justified in chopping people up with their machinery, and when the inspectors wonder whether they need not always make quite so much smoke. Coketown residents respond to these proposed changes by threatening to pitch their property into the Atlantic, but Coketowners have yet to follow through. By the summer following Mr. Bounderby's wedding, Mrs. Sparsit has settled into her new place at the bank. Bitzer, now the light porter at the bank, chats with her about the bank workers, telling her how Tom Gradgrind is a dissipated, extravagant idler. They also discuss the misfortunes of the poor, wondering why the hands don't make more of themselves. Bitzer himself comes from humble beginnings and has managed to save money, so he believes other workers can and should do the same. Their conversation ends when a stranger arrives with an introductory letter from Mr. Gradgrind, now a member of Parliament in London. The stranger has confused the bank with Mr. Bounderby's residence. They chat briefly about Mr. Bounderby and Louisa, and the man leaves his letter for Mr. Bounderby. Mrs. Sparsit and Bitzer comment on the stranger's wardrobe and speculate about if the man gambles. Coketown is a disgusting place, shrouded by pollution, just as the individual humanity of the workers is obscured by the expectations of the factory owners who compel them to work long hours. The narration takes on a deeply critical and sarcastic tone when describing the Coketowners' reactions to changes in conditions in their factories, like stricter laws regulating child labor and better safety conditions. This shows they value profits above human lives. And the Coketowners' exaggerated threats in response to the government regulations illustrate the extreme nature of their resistance to reasonable requests. Coketowners don't like being told what to do and will resist on principle. Mrs. Sparsit's conversation with Bitzer shows both characters share a belief that the poor have created their own misery because they don't work hard enough and spend their earnings frivolously.